Nitai Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Bhadipadacha Acharya Stotra Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Anandi Koti Vaishnava Brinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Brinda ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Gidi Govardhan ki jai. Sri Dwarka Dham ki jai, Sri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sri Mathura Dham ki jai, Sri Navadvip Dham ki jai, Sri Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai, Gangamayi ki jai, Yamunamayi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Brinda ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. Assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tatati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahakana Ladita Sri Vishakan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vishnot kirtana gana nartana kala patho jani prachita sadbhakta balik hamsa chakra madhupa sreni viharaspadam ananandi kaladvanir Bahatume Jiva Maru Prangane Sri Chaitanya Daya Nidhi Tavalasat Lila Sudha Swardhuni. My merciful Lord Chaitanya, may the nectarine Ganges water of your transcendental activities flow on the surface of my desert-like tongue. Beautifying these waters are the lotus flowers of singing, dancing, and loud chanting of Krishna's holy name, which are the pleasure abodes of unalloyed devotees. Devotees are compared to swans, ducks, and bees. Rivers flowing produces a melodious sound that purport, divine grace. Our tongues are always engaged in vibrating useless sounds that do not help us realize transcendental. The tongue is compared to a desert because a desert needs a constant supply of refreshing water to make it fertile and fruitful. Water is the substance most needed in the desert. The transient pleasure derived from mundane topics of art, culture, politics, sociology, dry philosophy, poetry, and so on is compared to a mere drop of water. Because although such topics have a qualitative feature, transcendental pleasure, they are saturated with the modes of material nature. Therefore, neither collectively nor individually can they satisfy the vast requirements of the desert-like tongue. Despite crying in the various conferences, therefore the desert-like tongue continues to be parched. For this reason, people from all parts of the world must call for the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are compared to swans swimming around the beautiful lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya, or bees humming around his lotus feet in transcendental pleasure. The dryness of material happiness cannot be moistened by so-called philosophers who cry for Brahman, liberation, and similar dry speculative objects. urge of the soul proper is different. The soul can be solaced only by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, bona fide devotees who never leave the lotus feet of the Lord to become imitation Mahaprabhus, but all cling to his lotus feet like bees that never leave a honey-soaked lotus flower. Lord Chaitanya's movement of Krishna consciousness is full of dancing and singing about the pastimes of Lord Krishna. It is compared herein to the pure water of the Ganges, which are full of lotus flowers. The enjoyers of these lotus flowers are the pure devotees, who are like bees and swans. They chant like the flowing of the Ganges, the river of the celestial kingdom. The author desires such sweetly flowing waves to cover his tongue. He humbly compares himself to materialistic persons who always engage in dry talk from which they derive no satisfaction. If they were to use their dry tongues to chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, as exemplified by Lord Chaitanya, they would taste sweet nectar, enjoy life. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Sri Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Charya, Chandra, and all the glories to the devotees of Lord Gauranga. Very Hare Krishna. Grateful to be with all of you today. Honor and pleasure for this opportunity. We are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila chapter 2. Is coming.
Hari.
Hare Krishna. This verse, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, describing hearts of people to be like tongues are like deserts, their hearts are like deserts, the whole material existence is like a desert. People are thirsty. No quality or quantity of material satisfactions, or any type of arrangements, that thirst. Pure Ganges, sounds, Supreme Lord's pastimes, teachings, holy names, completely satisfy. Ultimately, it is this only that we are thirsting for. Nandamayo Bhyashat. Absolute truth is full of pleasure. Part and parcel of Krishna. Jiva Loke, Jiva Buddha. We are also by nature Jivatma, being a fragment of infinitesimal part of Krishna, Ananda, eternal, full of knowledge, when, due to the illusion of Maya, we forget our true identity, we forget love Krishna. Hear properly? Hare Krishna. Can you hear better now? Okay. Let us see. Whatever quantity or quality of enjoyment or arrangements we make in this world cannot satisfy of the heart. We are thirsting for Krishna. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this world. He is Krishna himself. Performed most beautiful pastimes of love. Did in such a way that not only did he reveal Krishna's most beautiful, intimate, special pastimes to the world, he did so in the role of a devotee to give us an example of how we could live to receive that Ganges of Krishna's pastimes, chanting of his holy names. Gaur Purnima, special time of the year. Vrindavan Das Thakur in his Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat tells that these 2 days are the most sacred of all days. The appearance of Lord Nityananda and the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These days are especially blessed with the divine presence of the Lord. Similar to the Lord appearing in the form of the Archamurti, the deity in the temple. Similar to how the Lord appears within his holy name, Nama Krishna, Chaitanya Ras Vigraha. Similar way, these sacred days, Gaur Purnima, the Lord manifests to reveal and deliver special mercy. Follow carefully. Today is Ekadasi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, beautiful prayer, tells us that Ekadasi is the mother of devotion for those who observe it properly. Yeyatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamya. Avart manuvartante manusya. Krishna reciprocates according to how we surrender, how we approach him. We have this great Vaishnav calendar, which gives us such an opportunity, because every one of these days in the calendars that are special holidays are invested with the blessings of the persons that those holidays are honoring. They also help us to really focus our mind with gratitude and with devotion toward the gifts that those personalities on these particular days have given. Let us, today's class, cultivate a awareness and a gratitude and an eagerness to receive Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Prabhupada in this purport is speaking about how ordinary people naturally trying to quench their heart's thirst through so many materialistic things actually be satisfied by hearing the nectarine Ganges flow, teachings, pastimes, and names of the Lord. New Delhi, Sarati Temple, throughout the year and especially during December time, distributed so many and thousands, millions of Srila Prabhupada's books. Is this Ganges of the nectar of Krishna's teachings? More than anywhere else in the world, Delhi has been flooded by this river of sea because of all of you. Inspiration of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj deeply, truly knows intimately how to please Srila Prabhupada's heart. All somehow or other carried in the current of this river of mercy and drowning your whole city and the whole world with it. I thank you very much. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was young, as Nimai Pandit, posed himself as a great scholar. At that time in India, scholarship was the highest prestige. You do not read about those days how there were cricket stars or football stars, scholars. Debate was the real championship competition. A person who was a great scholar was considered to be the most accomplished and successful person. He established himself as the greatest scholar in the world. Effortlessly defeated Keshav Kashmiri, the Digvijay Pandit, the undefeated champion of debate throughout the land. Why did he do that? Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted through his pastimes to show how totally insignificant every possible type of material accomplishment is in the light of bhakti or devotional service. Went to Gaya in the guise of going for the ceremony in memory of his recently departed father, Jagannath. He met with Ishwara Puri, great Acharya, Brahma Madhva Sampradaya, disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to show the great necessity of receiving knowledge and blessings and receiving the mantra from Parampara. Receiving the name of Krishna, mantra from Ishwara Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested ecstasies of Sri Radha as a supreme lover of Krishna. He came back to Navadvip. Students who were so eager to learn from him. He was very different. Every single item, knowledge, basis of Sanskrit grammar, logic, he would explain through the names of Krishna. And once he would start chanting the names of Krishna, he would go into such swoons of ecstasy chanting Krishna's names. Sometimes for hours, he would just describe Krishna's names in a trance. And when he would come to external consciousness, students, what did I say? They'd say, we don't know what you said. beyond us, as we can't understand. All we know is you were just describing Krishna's names for the last 9 hours. Without stopping, we don't understand what it means, but we can see that something's happened to you. Eventually they went to his teacher, Gangadas Pandit, and they said, we can't understand the teachings of Nimai Pandit anymore. All he talks about is Krishna's names. Gangadas Pandit said to him, he said, I'm also a devotee of Krishna, but still you have your duties, you have your occupation to the world, you have to perform it properly, and you're a grammar teacher, you should teach properly. I've taught you, I'm a devotee, but I teach it the right, according to the tradition and the culture. Yes, I will do. But then when he sat with his students, as soon as he remembered Krishna again, he only described Krishna's names and Krishna's pastimes. Nimai wrapped up his books and said, I cannot teach you anymore because I've been attracted by Krishna in this way. You have my permission to go to any other teacher you like. All the students wrapped up their books and said, after getting you as our teacher, we can never accept any other teacher. Teach us how to chant. On the bank of the Ganges, he taught the beautiful process of Harinam Sankirtan. We're all chanting, all dancing. After some time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attracted so many of his eternal associates from the spiritual world, great devotees, in the house of Srivas. For 1 year, Lord Chaitanya had kirtan in their homes. Because there were so many very materialistic people and many times very envious people, he kept the doors closed. Only those who were his most confidential, pure-hearted, enlightened associates were allowed inside. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught how they should do this chanting. It is described that he would chant during the day with his devotees, and one day he told them, why should we waste the precious hours of the night sleeping? We should chant all night also. Because so inspired. Everybody. None of them said, but what about sleep? Yes, we will chant all night. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to them how to do it. He gave them faith in the holy name. He cited this beautiful verse from the Brihanaradiya Purana. Harinam, Harinam, Harinam eva. Lo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva. That Krishna is personally present within the sound of his name. There are no hard and fast rules for this chanting. Therefore, the scripture tells us there is no better way. The only way in this age of Kali is the chanting of the names of Hari. Lord Chaitanya told, if you want to always chant, you must follow this principle. Rinadapi sunichena iva sihishnana anina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. To be humble like a blade of grass, tolerant like tree. To be devoid of any sense of false prestige, of craving honor, but to eager to offer respect to others. This way you could chant Krishna's name constantly. And in this context, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the qualities of grass. The humility of grass, how it is very content to be under everyone's feet. Step on it and it crush it down, it just comes up to serve more. And a tree, even in the dry summer, eager to offer fruits to others. Forgiving and have the service attitude of grass and trees, eager to serve and respect and honor others without expecting in oneself. Take this verse and put it on the string of the holy name and wear it always. With this inspiration in Srivasanga, for 1 full year, they were having kirtan throughout the night. Described that so many people, especially those who were very envious, and even Brahmins who were very arrogant and proud of their position in society, criticizing. Common people of Navadvip, they really loved Lord Gauranga. Beautiful. He was so kind. He was so gentle. He was so full of compassion. They were longing and yearning to see him dance. He was always behind closed doors in the house of Srivas. Sometimes they would talk among each other that we will, because of these blasphemers, because of these criticizing, envious people who are always saying nasty things and making plots to undermine Lord Chaitanya and his devotees, we'll never get to see his dancing. We long to see that dance. We yearn to see that dance. We want to be a part of that kirtan. The blasphemers would hear this. They would attack the ordinary people. You are one of them. Chase them, beat them. One day, after Lord Chaitanya danced and chanted all night, so many of the people of Navadvip, just simple, innocent-hearted people, it came because they just wanted to offer gifts to Lord Gauranga. Some brought nice patty, others brought bananas, coconuts, some brought yogurt or ghee. One by one came with great humility to offer gifts of their love. Lord Chaitanya was so pleased. Moment, something historical was about to unfold. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw all these people offering their dandavat obeisances to him. So pleased by their humility, by their simplicity, by their eagerness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, "Dear brothers and sisters, always serve Lord Krishna with devotion. Chant his holy names and speak about him. Today, I will give you a great mantra, the greatest of all mantras for your happiness. It is called the Maha Mantra." And you revealed this 32-syllable, 16-word mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. said, chant this mantra always. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you are with, chant this mantra. And there are no hard and fast rules for chanting. You're with your families at home. Gather together, just by yourself, or with 5 people or 10 people. If you have instruments, play instruments. If you don't have instruments, clap your hands and chant this great Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Krishna has made himself present in this mantra. And by chanting it, you will attain all perfection in life. Then I'll give you another song. Raye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Mama. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhu Sudhan. Chant these beautiful names of Lord Hari and be happy. People of Navadvip, so thirsty, so eager to receive Lord Chaitanya. They had such faith in him. They were so happy. They all went to their homes and to their shops. Navadvip, thousands and thousands of people were chanting. It never happened like this in history, right out in the open. Navadvip was under Mughal rule, and they were very much afraid to do this. Sunrise, in their homes. Thousands and thousands of homes in the different towns and the different villages, the word spread. They would all be clapping their hands. Many of them brought mridangas, karatals, conch shells, chanting fearlessly. So happy. One day, Chand Kazi, political ruler, the Mughal power, walking through the streets. He was shocked. He could not believe that these people had such courage. In every direction, they were clapping, they were dancing, they were singing Krishna's names. Outraged. It was a very great blow to his ego that they would dare to do such a thing in his presence. Picked up a mridanga. He broke it, throwing it on the ground with great anger. He was so outraged. He was screaming at the people. How dare you, in my abode, openly chanting these Hindu names? Any one of you are caught, you will be severely beaten. I will plunder all of your property, or I will put you in prison. Quite scary. Then he arranged thousands of dacoit soldiers roaming through the towns, the villages, and the streets, and the marketplaces, and the bathing ghats for the specific purpose of searching for anyone who was chanting kirtan. They were caught, they were severely beaten. People were very much afraid. Nimai told him, it's very, very difficult for us. And Lord Chaitanya said, you have nothing to fear, just go and chant Hare Krishna. Went back to chant Hare Krishna, but so many were getting beaten. So they came again and said, there's 1,000 soldiers just looking for anyone who chants and how they beat us and they plunder us and they imprison us. We can't stop chanting because mantra we can never stop chanting, but we can't do it here. It's too much dangerous to our families, so we will all leave Navadvip and go to some other place. Lord Chaitanya heard what was happening. Described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, entered into the mood of Shiva when he's angry. Voice was like thunder. He raised his arms and he called out, Nityananda! Listen to what I say. Go to the homes of every Vaishnav. Give them this message. Today, I will personally lead kirtan through the streets of Navadvip. Let us see who will do what to me. Today I will lead the kirtan right to the doorway of Chand Kazi, and I will break his door and burn his house. Let us see what he tries to do to me. Today, I will bring down a great rainstorm of pure devotional service and ecstatic love for Krishna. Today, time personified will stand before those who are envious and blasphemous. Every one of you, spread this message throughout the town. If you want to see the great secret of Krishna, come back here with a torch. Prepare torches. Your homes, take your lunch, and then come back to my home. I will lead the dancing and chanting of the kirtan throughout Navadvip town. Lord Chaitanya had never done a public kirtan. People, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you have nothing to fear. This entire universe is filled only with my innumerable servants of the servants of my servants. Nothing can harm you. All the people had so much faith. They spread this word far and wide. And soon, all over Navadvip, millions of people were making torches. Fathers were making torches. Sons were making torches. Wives were making torches. Daughters were making. Everyone was making torches. Getting the wood and they were wrapping it with cloth and we were soaking with barrels and barrels of oil. Some people were so enthusiastic they made thousands of torches themselves. Even though Lord Chaitanya told them to all eat lunch, they were all so enthusiastic they didn't eat lunch. They just made torches. All gathered together. Massive crowd of people. Hundreds and thousands, if not millions of people gathered in front of Lord Chaitanya's house. Came and saw their enthusiasm. Pleased. Used them to chant Krishna's names. Then he arranged kirtan parties. That the first kirtan party will be led by Sri Advaitacharya as the dancer. Surrounding him will be so many singers and mridangas and karatals. Behind him will be Srila Haridas Thakur. Behind him will be Srivas Thakur. Behind him, I will personally dance. Nanda Prabhu looked at Lord Chaitanya and said, I can't be anywhere except with you. So on one side was Gadadhar and the other side Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kirtan spreads loud in all directions. The sun set. As soon as the sun set, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a signal by loudly saying, Hari Hari. And everyone knew exactly what to do. Simultaneously at that moment, everyone lit their torches. Even at night, it was like thousands of suns were in the sky. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced. So beautiful. His face was like a beautiful golden moon. His eyes were like lotus petals. They were so long and so beautiful that they almost reached his ear. His eyebrows were like the bows of Kamade. His nose was like a sesame flower. His teeth were like pearls. His lips, the bimba fruit. Described his arms were like long golden pillars. His whole body was resplendent like molten gold. Danced, there was a beautiful garland, mala, of various flowers that extended below his knees, and it was swaying to and fro, decorating his most elegant black hair, which was swirling around his beautiful face. There was a garland of jasmine flowers. It was so beautiful. And he danced with such ecstatic love and compassion. Everyone, all these millions of people, they could all see him dancing. It was the ultimate highlight of lives. This was the first time in history Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought Sankirtan out to the public streets. He danced from one village, from one bathing ghat to the various parts of Navadvip. Sometimes he would enter into the mood of Krishna. It's his form of Krishna. Other times he would manifest the form of a devotee and put straw between his teeth and be embracing everyone who chanted the names of Krishna. He was offering his pranams, his obeisances to anyone who was chanting Krishna's names. Embrace them. He would put garlands on them. By Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everyone's hearts became so completely overwhelmed with love for Lord Chaitanya, their love for each other. Same way. During this kirtan, people were embracing each other. They were touching each other's feet. People were so intoxicated with the holy name and seeing so much blessing in each other that they would take their hair and tie it to the feet of another person. Other people would climb to the top of a tree and just go, Hari Hari, and jump down. Jump down from the top of a tree. Completely oblivious to all the limitations of this material world. Mahaprabhu with his arms raised, was inducing them all to loudly cry out. All the houses, they knew that Lord Chaitanya was going to be coming by and glance upon their house. So all the householders decorated the front of their. They put banana trees. It was amazing. Some of them didn't have banana trees, but they wanted banana trees. But because Lord Chaitanya was fulfilling everyone's desires that night, if anyone wanted to have a nice banana trees in front of their house, banana trees just immediately grew in front of their house. Lots of ghee, and they put different types of powders and dyes and fruits and coconuts to make an auspicious sight for Lord Chaitanya to see. Because in doing it, they were welcoming the Lord in their homes. And the home represents the heart. When we welcome saintly people into our homes, it's really symbolic of welcoming them into our hearts. So in this way, all the homes were beautifully decorated. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glancing upon all of them. The people in the homes, when they saw this kirtan and heard the beautiful sound of the Maha Mantra being chanted, enthused, left their homes to join the kirtan. Housewives, they forgot about their babies and their children and their cooking duties and everything else. They just ran out and joined the kirtan. But it wasn't a problem, because the babies and the children and everybody in the house, they forgot that they were babies and children, and they ran out and joined the kirtan. And all the men, whatever they were doing, they had their obligations, their jobs, they had their employers and everything like this. They just forgot about their employees. They forgot they were employees. They forgot their employers. They just ran out of their shops to join the kirtan. And everyone was in the kirtan. And nobody was thinking anything about any of their material identities. The thieves. There were bands of thieves. They were really excited. This was the ultimate opportunity for them. Because nobody closed their doors or locked their doors. They forgot about the doors. Every house in Navadvip had nobody in it. The doors were open. They could go in and steal everything they wanted, and they were so excited. They all started running to the houses to rob and to steal and to plunder. But then they heard the kirtan. And every single one of them forgot that they were thieves. And they all ran to the kirtan. And along with everyone else with their arms raised, they gazed at the beautiful sight of Lord Gauranga and seeing him chanting, this way they went by all these different bathing ghats. They came close to the town where Kazi was living. John Kazi heard this loud sound of kirtan. What is that? Must be some wedding procession. Go stop it. Sent his soldiers to go stop it. When the soldiers saw all these people, As they came close to Chand Kazi's house, really enthusiastic. Some of them, as the kirtan was going, they became so fearless, saying, "Destroy the Kazi." Beating devotees. He was imprisoning devotees. He was torturing devotees. Be difficult. They saw so many people. Beards. Would hide their beards like this. Take their turbans off. And they would raise their arms and dance with the devotees. Some of them came back and reported that it's Nimai Pandit. He has millions and millions of people out there, and they're all loudly chanting the holy names, and they're all coming here. Chand Kazi said, he must be in some wedding procession, but no one can do this in my land. I will personally go out and stop them. Just when he said that, the kirtan party just came closer. So tumultuous, the drums and the kartals and the sound of many, many voices singing with such love and devotion that Chand Kazi ran to hide. My Pandit, Lord Gauranga, came to his house. The people were so disturbed with him, they started tearing his house to pieces. He had a beautiful garden, and they started trampling his garden. Went to the door and said to one of the associates, "Where is Chand Kazi? Bring him here." As he came down, very respectful. People there. Lord Chaitanya said, "I am a guest at your house. What type of etiquette is this that you did not receive me? You are hiding." As he said that you looked very angry, and these people also looked very angry. But now you don't look so angry, so I have come. He said, "Actually, your grandfather, Nilambar Chakravarti, was like my own uncle, my kaka. Therefore, I am your uncle, and you are my nephew, and even if nephews and uncles sometimes have some disagreements, they never take it too seriously." This way they had a nice talk. I have to leave really soon, so I'm just brief. But Lord Chaitanya told the Chand Kazi, he said, "Why is it that you drink the milk of a cow and then you kill her? You drink the milk of a cow, you accept her as a mother. Why do you kill your mother?" He was actually a great scholar, the Kazi. He said, according to our religion, there is the path of material enjoyment and the path of renunciation. The path of renunciation, the killing of animals, it is forbidden. But in the path of material enjoyment, under certain rules, it is accepted. Even in your Vedas, there are horse sacrifices and cow sacrifices. Chaitanya explained, you are quoting from Puranas, but understand, when there was such a sacrifice, the Brahmins had such power with mantra. Even after taking the life of an old cow, by chanting mantras, they would bring back the life of that cow with youth and health. If you cannot bring it back through mantras, it's sinful to sacrifice it. The age of Kali, no one has power over mantras in this way. They spoke about scripture. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not deny their scriptures. He was bringing out the essence of the scriptures. And ultimately, Chandkazi agreed with everything he said. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him a question. He said, you used to beat and torture anyone who was chanting the holy names. Why today you didn't do that? Chandkazi said, I want to tell you the reason, but I want to tell you privately. Lord Gauranga said, there is no privacy because all of my friends here are my confidential associates. Chandkazi said, the day after I broke one of the mridanga drums and beat some of your devotees, my palace to go to sleep. Suddenly, I woke up. And there was the most ferocious person. He had the body of a human and the head and the claws of a lion. His eyes were bright red with anger and his teeth were very sharp and he was roaring. And that lion jumped on my chest while I was laying in bed, and with his claws he started ripping open my flesh. He was roaring and roaring. And the lion looked at me and said, because you tore to pieces the mridanga drum, I am going to tear you apart in the same way. Because you are causing fear to my devotees, I am going to terrify you. I am going to destroy you today for your aparads. Then he said, I was laying there trembling helplessly. You didn't do anything too bad yet. But if you ever try to chant this, if you ever try to stop this chanting, or if you ever hurt my devotees, I will be back to destroy you. That ferocious being went away. And Chandkazi opened up his cloth and showed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the others there were nail marks, the bloody nail marks. Singadev on his chest. That I told my soldiers, stop that kirtan, stop it. They came running back a few minutes later. What happened? They said, we went. And as soon as we got to the kirtan, and when we were about to give your law that they had to stop, immediately our beards got on fire. Now look at our face. We don't have beards. All we have is burns. Soldier after soldier came with the same story. Some other people, they were also my soldiers. They came and they said, all those people, they're just chanting Hari Hari. All they do is chant Hari Hari. They can't stop chanting Hari Hari. And now Hari Hari and Hari Hari. And Chandkazi said, they are, but why are you chanting Hari Hari? They said, because we were with them, we can't stop chanting Hari Hari. We don't want to chant Hari Hari, but we just keep chanting Hari Hari. He said, then some Hindu Brahmins came. They were complaining. They were complaining that Nimai Pandit is destroying our religion. Mantras are only meant to be chanted silently in the mind by highly qualified Brahmins, and Nimai Pandit is giving even the lower castes and the untouchables, he's giving these mantras to everyone, and they're all chanting them loudly. Because of this, all of our mantras are going to lose all of their potency. And because of this offense, the entire city of Navadvip, your kingdom, is going to be totally destroyed by this aparad. So it is your duty to defend us by stopping him. All these people were chanting Hari Hari, and their beards were burnt, and Narsingadev came, and he didn't tell anything to anyone. He just said, just go home. I will do the needful, you just go home. Jankazi said, in your Vedic scriptures, the Supreme Lord is Narayan. I can understand that you are that one Supreme Lord of all lords, Narayan. And I have heard that people affectionately call you Gaur Hari. So even I want to call you Gaur Hari. He said, I have one request. From this day on, do not disturb the congregational chanting of the holy names. Jankazi proclaimed, he said, I take a vow that as long as I live and as long as I have any descendants who are ruling this land, no one will ever interfere with the congregational chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Jankazi became very dear devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all the devotees seeing this and hearing that proclamation, they loudly chanted and they were dancing. And Lord Chaitanya, after taking leave, he went back to the kirtan, and Jankazi followed him. He wanted to just join the kirtan. Lord Chaitanya sent him back to his palace. This was such a victory. It's very interesting to analyze. It was such a challenging, disastrous crisis that brought about Lord Chaitanya to perform his first Nam Sankirtan in the public. And we see that challenges so often the times when the Lord reveals himself in the most merciful ways. Nearby in Mathura, Vasudeva and Devaki, they were in really a crisis. 6 of their children were murdered by Kamsa. They were in a underground prison, chains around them. Midnight, the darkest time. That situation, Krishna appeared. Asarat, he had no son. He was in such a difficult situation, in such a depressed state because he couldn't have a son. In that state, performed a beautiful yajna. Appeared. The earth was in the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean in such an impossible, incredible, difficult situation. And Varahadev appeared. Prabhupada, 50 years ago, this coming August, Friday, the 13th of August, 1965. We're having a big festival in Calcutta. You're all You remember Srila Prabhupada boarding the Jaladuta at the King George dockyards. Jaladuta was a very old, beaten-up cargo ship at that time, with no medical facilities, no proper rooms. Prabhupada, who was just about to turn 70 years old, boarded the Jaladuta. Crossing the Arabian Sea where there were 2 heart attacks, and then crossing through Europe and Africa and crossing the Atlantic Ocean without knowing anyone, anywhere, only having $7 other currency to America. Very desperate situation. Then the Kirtan movement spread practically to every town and village throughout the world. Here we find Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the time when there were military soldiers with laws who were coming to destroy the devotees. And they were so totally helpless. It was at that moment that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu orchestrated inaugurate the Harinam Sankirtan movement into the public of the world. Bhaktivedanta Manor was attacked. It was closed down for over 10 years. Every case they tried to fight, they lost, but they just kept going. And finally, they had demonstrations in front of the Parliament of Britain and thousands of people, and they just kept losing court case after court case. It was hopeless. Just a small community of devotees against the British Empire. Eventually, through that, they got 4 times more land, beautiful roads. Everything opened up, was legal. Time everything was opened up and legal, they had so much more property, and they were now so famous, and they had such links and connections with so many other groups. Time I was there for Janmashtami, there was over 80,000 people attending Janmashtami. England. Krishna likes to show when there's challenges, if devotees just have faith and never give up. At Haras Bihari Temple, the whole government of Bombay and Maharashtra was against little Prabhupada and a few devotees. Give up. And now Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari Temple, under the direction of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, is the most popular temple in all of Maharashtra. Especially. Incredible. Likes to put challenges. And Queen Kunti prayed in Hastinapur, where you're living. Queen Kunti made that prayer, Vipada Shantu Tat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru. Let calamities come again and again. Because when they come, I have no one else to turn to except you, Krishna. In such a state we chant with real feeling. Really take shelter. And she said, when I turn to you in that spirit, Krishna, I never have to see birth and death again. Gaur Purnima is coming soon. I'm going to end my class just by telling what happened after this great victory. Chand Kazi became a Vaishnav. And after this accomplishment, Lord Chaitanya took some of his devotees chanting. Now, by this time, it was early morning. They chanted all night. They went to Simantadweep. There was the home of Kolavecha Sridhar. It was a tiny one-room house. Just a straw hut. Golovecha Sridhar was so poor, but he only had one set of clothes that were all torn up. His body was really thin because he never got much to eat. The only possession he had in his house, there was no furniture, there was just a very old, beaten down, dented iron water pot he would use for every type of purpose. Keep it just outside the door of his little hut. Tanya saw that dented water pot. Vrindavan Das Thakur said that pot was so beaten and so materially worthless that even the most desperate thief would not even place his eyes on that pot. Lord Chaitanya, who was Lakshmi Pati, the Lord of the goddess of fortune, the proprietor of everything that exists, water pot of Sridhar. And with great enthusiasm, he went to the doorstep and picked up the water pot. When he did that, the devotees were shocked. This is not possible. How could he do such a thing? Sridhar was watching. And he said, no. Sridhar said, no, my Lord, no. I drink from that water. I clean with that water. That water's dirty. Don't. And Lord Chaitanya drank it. Sridhar gasped out, now I am dead. And he fell to the ground unconscious. And he got up and he was crying and crying. And when the devotees saw this, they all started crying. And Lord Chaitanya kept drinking and drinking. And he said, this is nectar. I have never tasted nectar like this. He said, for the first time in my life, I am tasting the sweetness of love and devotion to Krishna because I have drunk the water from Sridhar's pot. Lord Chaitanya was in such ecstasy. As he was drinking the water, his hairs were standing on end, tears were flowing from his eyes, glorifying Sridhar's devotion. Devotees were rolling in the ground because they just couldn't believe what they were seeing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was totally conquered by the simple love of his devotee, who was just a little banana leaf seller. If you want to make an offering to the Lord, there's mantra and tantra and yantra and puja and mudra and all types of rituals and regulations of how to make an offering. Here, Sridhar didn't do any mudras or pudras or mantras or tantras or yantras. He didn't even offer it. Lord Chaitanya came to steal it because of his love and devotion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after this incredible pastime of attracting millions of people to chant together with torches in their hands and transform the life of the whole of Navadvip and transform Chandkazi, now he's like the king of kings. He's weeping and crying, drinking the simple well water used to wash. Simple water that was drunk by Golovecha Sridhar. He wanted to show the world only true wealth, the pure devotional service. And bhakti is the greatest of all powers, because it overpowers even the supreme power of God himself. Prabhupada, on behalf of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is giving all of us opportunity, as this verse is describing, to enter into the current of this Ganges of grace, hearing these beautiful stories about Krishna, by associating with the devotees of the Lord who are like swans, who are eager to taste the sweetness of Hari Kathan, Hari Kirtan. The association of such swan-like devotees receive supreme wealth, that supreme power. Chanting with great humility the names of our Lord. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Much louder, please. Much louder, please. Time is our flight. Immediately ride to the airport. So honored, so grateful I could have this chance to be with all of you.
His Holiness Radhanatha Swami Maharaj ki Srila Prabhupada